We're going to begin the hour with breaking news from the BC fire zone. More people around Kelowna can go home now. Cooler weather is helping fire crews beat back the flames. Over 300 properties have now been removed from the evacuation order list. This is in the West Kelowna area. Officials say the work is ongoing to remove hazards and to lift the remaining evacuation orders. It's estimated 181 properties have been completely or partially destroyed by the fires. And that was a number we've been waiting for, 181, the count from officials. In other parts of British Columbia, though, even as some learn they can go home, dozens more are being told to leave. There are new evacuation orders in place for Lytton First Nation, and Hilary Johnstone is going to lead off our coverage there. Good morning, Hilary.
Good morning, Heather. Well, another 30 or 40 people from that Lytton First Nation have been told that they are going to need to leave their homes. And when you're looking at the village of Lytton, of course, there's an evacuation alert there, but then so many of these surrounding communities have been told that they need to get out, and they need to get out now because of the fire that you're going to see pop up here on this map. There it is, very, very close, about 12 kilometers away from that Lytton area. And certainly what we're hearing from officials is that they know that this is tough. This is now the third summer in a row that Lytton, BC has dealt with fires. There was that fire back in June of 2021, which of course destroyed the village of Lytton. There were fires again last year, and now here we are once again. So we do know that there are about 50 or 60 firefighting crews working on that fire right now. And unfortunately, this area didn't receive the rain, unlike some of the areas in the Okanagan, for example. Kelowna, West Kelowna actually did have some rain yesterday, which certainly helped firefighting officials. Not the case, though, in Lytton. So certainly the message today is that if you have not already left, then it is time to do so. And if you are on evacuation alert, of course, you do need to be prepared to leave on very, very short notice.
I'm wondering, too, Hilary, what's happening in the Shuswap area. That's an area under an evacuation alert, but some people, order actually, but some people stayed behind, and we've been reporting on the tensions between those who stayed behind and officials and police officers. What is the latest there?
Tension would be one word for it, but certainly what CBC is hearing from some residents on the ground in these areas is that they are telling our colleagues that they feel abandoned by some provincial officials. And just to sort of go through what's going on here. So this area, of course, lots of homes have already been lost, and even more people have been forced out of their homes because of these devastating wildfires. And what we are hearing from some of these residents is that they want to play a greater role in this firefighting right now, that they want to be working with BC officials. They want to be working with those firefighters. They don't want to be forced out. They want to be there to protect their homes. There are also concerns about the initial communication around the evacuation order. They're upset with some of these police checkpoints that have been set up as well. So there's also some back and forth here because, of course, in recent days, we've heard from provincial officials these concerns that firefighting equipment was either being moved or being taken. Some of these residents are saying that they do not appreciate being accused of this, that they are simply trying to help. So that's sort of where we're at right now. Lots of tension back and forth between provincial officials, the RCMP, and some of these local residents. And yesterday, during a bit of an update from provincial officials, they were asked about this repeatedly, and they did say that they do think that there is a place here for residents and officials to cooperate on fighting the fires. Here's what we heard.
BC Wildfire Service is reaching out to skilled, experienced people in the Shuswap to try and incorporate them into their work. We have to be working together on this, though. People can't be doing their own thing. We can't have equipment that's been staged for firefighters being moved, so it's not there when it's needed. That puts the whole unified strategy at risk, and it puts people and their homes at risk.
And also at that same update yesterday, there was a firefighting official who did make the point that, there is a precedent for this, that in the past there have been instances where some residents have helped firefighting officials. But certainly you can just understand the anxiety there. People wanting to know what the status of their homes is what the properties are like. And there are a few websites that have started to spring up on that front, helping people find out the status of their properties. There's one for the Central Okanagan as well. People can put their address in and we'll get some information information about whether or not their home is still standing.
You have a powerful moment to share, Hillary, of one woman who did not have to go online to find out about her home. She found out courtesy of Renee Filipponi and our news crew.
That's right. And it was such a touching moment to see as well. A woman who has been in Vernon. She's been staying with extended family members, very, very nervous about her West Kelowna home, which she's lived in for 34 years. Wasn't totally sure whether or not it was still there. She knew that her neighbors had lost their homes in some cases. And then our colleagues, Renee Filipponi and some of her camera crew as well, they helped her find out the status of her home. And this was that moment.
Okay.
There it is, eh?
There it is. Thank you. That's standing, yes. That's
beautiful news.
That's beautiful news. I know it's going to be dirty inside and all of that, but we know neighbors that have lost their homes, so we just feel very blessed that
Yeah, the word home.
that we got our house
Very
is still
profound.
standing. Because we've been there 34 years. I really want to go home.
Your heart sort of flutters when you hear her kind of make that realization that it is in fact still standing, sort of experiencing that joy along with her. Of course, a lot of people having very, very different news, Heather, but certainly a bit of a bright spot for that one family whose home in West Kelowna, thankfully, is still standing.
Thankfully, absolutely, Hillary. Thanks for bringing that to us. Hillary Johnstone.